Welcome back to Readology Review, your go-to podcast for insightful deep dives into the books that can truly transform your life and career. I'm Emma, and joining me today, as always, is our resident book expert, Ethan.
Hey, Emma. It's great to be here, and I'm particularly excited about today's book. We're talking about a real game changer, Tim Castle's The Art of Negotiation.
Oh, The Art of Negotiation. That sounds intense, Ethan. When most people hear negotiation, they probably picture high-stakes corporate deals or intense legal battles. Is that what this book is all about?
That's a great question, Emma, and it gets right to the heart of what Tim Castle challenges. He really shatters that myth. Castle boldly asserts that negotiation isn't just for CEOs, lawyers, or salespeople. It's a fundamental life skill. In fact, he opens the book with a truth many people miss. You are always negotiating. Whether you're closing a $1 million contract, discussing a promotion, buying a car, or even simply deciding where to go for dinner, you are influencing and being influenced. Life, at its core, is a constant conversation of influence. Mastering this skill, according to Castle, puts the power of choice back in your hands.
That's a powerful idea. You are always negotiating. But if it's so fundamental, why do so many of us struggle with it or even avoid it?
It's a deeply ingrained societal habit, Emma. Most of us are raised to believe that asking for more is rude or greedy, or we fear rejection, discomfort, or a failure. So we stay silent, accept the first offer, and let life happen to us instead of actively creating outcomes. Castle challenges this passivity, stating that negotiation is not about arguing, it's about communicating with intention. He reveals a stark truth. If you don't ask, the answer is already no. Not negotiating is actually costing you time, money, peace of mind, confidence, and opportunity. The people who succeed consistently aren't just talented, they've learned how to negotiate effectively, taking bold action and speaking up.
So it's not about being pushy, but about being strategic and intentional. That leads me to wonder about the core of a successful negotiator. Does Tim Castle suggest that great negotiators are just born with this ability?
Absolutely not. This is one of the most inspiring takeaways from the book. Castle shatters the myth that negotiation is something only the naturally persuasive can do. He emphasizes that great negotiators are made, not born. It's not about being extroverted or intimidating, it's about preparation, clarity, and mindset. Castle himself admits he wasn't naturally persuasive or fearless. He developed the skill through repetition, trial and error, and a commitment to growth. What separates average negotiators from great ones is not technique, it's belief. Do you believe you deserve more? Are you willing to challenge the status quo? Can you confidently say, "This is what I want, and here's why"? He views negotiation as the ultimate confidence exercise, helping you build inner strength beyond just skill.
That's incredibly encouraging. So it sounds like mindset is a huge part of this. What does Tim Castle say about the mindset of a negotiator?
You've hit on the most crucial point, Emma. Castle makes it abundantly clear that before you learn a single tactic, you must first master your mindset. Negotiation isn't just about what you say, it's about how you think. Your beliefs, attitude, and internal narrative set the tone long before the conversation even begins. The negotiator who believes in their value, trusts their instincts, and walks in with courage wins more often than not. He breaks a strong negotiation mindset down into 3 foundational pillars. Self-belief. You are worth it. This is the unshakable truth at the heart of every powerful negotiator. I deserve to be here. I deserve to ask. Without this foundation, every tactic fails. You don't need to be the loudest voice. You need to be the clearest. Confidence in your value. Many people negotiate without understanding their own value. Castle urges you to do the inner and outer work to identify your strengths, the outcomes you've created, and what makes your offer valuable. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's clarity. If you sound unsure, people will doubt you. If you speak with quiet authority, they lean in. Negotiation, he says, is a value exchange. And courage to ask for more. This is where most people falter, not due to lack of skill, but fear. Fear of rejection, fear of offending, fear of hearing no. But Castle flips the script. A no is not rejection, it's just the beginning of the real conversation. Courage is a muscle that strengthens with use, and the more you ask, the easier it gets. His mantra is simple, but transformative. If you don't ask, the answer is always no.
That makes so much sense. It's like building an internal fortress before facing the external world. So once you've got that mindset in place, what's the next step?
The next step is your armor, Emma. Preparation. Tim Castle stresses that the most successful negotiators don't wing it. They walk into every negotiation armed with research, strategy, and clarity. He emphasizes that the real game starts long before you sit at the table. If you haven't prepared, you've already compromised. True preparation involves several crucial elements. Know your goal. What is your ideal outcome? What's your minimum acceptable deal, your walkaway point? Castle calls this the goal anchor principle. Your goal becomes your anchor, guiding the entire conversation. Understand their position, strategic empathy. Great negotiators are great empaths. You need to map out the other side's motives, priorities, and pain points. Ask, what are their goals? What pressure are they under? What would make them feel like they've won? This makes your ask more relevant and harder to say no to. Build your leverage points. Leverage isn't luck, it's built. Identify what gives you strength, unique expertise, high demand for your offer, or alternatives you could pursue. The more prepared you are, the more power you carry. Prepare your opening. Your first few sentences set the tone. Practice them aloud to ensure calm, composed, and clear communication. Anticipate objections and have answers ready. List every possible objection and craft confident responses. This removes fear and shows you're prepared. Know your BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. This is your fallback plan if the deal doesn't work out. Negotiating from strength, not fear. Prepare the environment. Consider logistics like location, who will be present, and time allowed. These elements influence the psychology of the negotiation. Practice mental rehearsal. Visualize success before the negotiation. Picture yourself confident, handling pushback smoothly, and achieving your desired outcome.
Wow, that's incredibly thorough. It sounds like being the most prepared person in the room is a huge advantage. Once you're prepared and have the right mindset, how do you actually make the ask?
This is where many people falter, Emma, and Castle has brilliant insights. His most powerful insight is, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you ask for with confidence. Asking is an act of leadership that allows you to take control of the conversation and define value. Here's how Castle guides you to make bold, clear, and irresistible asks. Clarity is non-negotiable. Be laser clear on what you want. Exact numbers, specific terms, target timelines. Vague goals lead to vague asks. Instead of, I was hoping for something better, say, I'm looking for $85,000 as a base salary. Speak with authority, not apology. Your tone is everything. Avoid weak openers like, would it be okay if, or sorry to bring this up. Use confident framing such as, what I'm looking for is, or based on the value I bring, I'm asking for. Ask high, anchor strong. This is where boldness pays off. Whoever anchors first often controls the direction of the negotiation. Ask above your ideal outcome without being absurd and be prepared to justify it with value. Shut up after the ask. This is a crucial mistake many negotiators make, talking too much after stating their ask. Castle teaches the ask then silence rule. Silence is powerful. It creates pressure, gives the other side space to process, and often they'll agree just to fill the silence. Frame the ask as a win-win. Confidence doesn't mean confrontation. Structure your ask to show how it benefits both parties. It's no longer a demand, it's a smart move for everyone involved. Rehearse the ask. Practice your ask aloud until it feels natural. This builds muscle memory so you won't freeze under pressure. Handle the pushback with grace. Don't expect an instant yes. Stay calm, ask open-ended questions like, "What would make this work for you?" and reframe the value. Pushback isn't rejection, it's negotiation. To support the author and publisher, we encourage you to purchase and read the full physical version of the book. We have attached the link to buy the book in the video description. You can refer to it. And if you'd like us to create a brief summary or review of a particular book, don't hesitate to leave a comment under this video. If we've read it, we'll definitely fulfill your request.
That shut up after the ask point is gold. It feels counterintuitive, but I can see how powerful it is. Moving on. What about listening? Most people think of negotiation as primarily about speaking persuasively, but does Castle agree?
Not at all, Emma. This is another counterintuitive but profound insight from Tim Castle. The best negotiators talk less and listen more. He states that the real advantage lies in deep listening, strategic silence, and empathetic understanding. The greatest breakthroughs come not from what you say, but from what you hear. When you listen actively, you uncover hidden motives, pain points, constraints, and desires, all while building trust. The person who listens better wins better, he says. Here are his key strategies for leveraging listening. Stop planning your next move while they talk. Listen to connect, not just to reply. Give full attention, make eye contact, and stay present. Master the strategic pause, silent close. After asking a crucial question or making an important statement, say nothing. Silence creates pressure and invites the other party to speak first, often revealing more. Ask open-ended questions. Guide the conversation with smart questions like, "Can you tell me more about what's important to you?" Or, "What would make this a win for you?" This uncovers what they truly value and helps you tailor offers. A powerful line Castle recommends is, "Help me understand what success looks like for you in this deal." Mirror and label their emotions. Repeat their last few words in a calm, curious tone, mirroring, or name the emotion you observe, like, "It sounds like you're concerned about the risk." This shows understanding and diffuses tension. Let them feel in control. People are more likely to say yes when they feel it was their idea. Guide them to discover solutions by listening, reflecting, and asking strategic questions. Castle calls this ego release.
That's such a powerful shift in perspective, moving from persuading to understanding. But what happens when, despite all this, you still hear no? How do you handle rejection in a negotiation?
Rejection is the word most people dread, but Tim Castle completely reframes it. He explains that no is not the end of a negotiation, it's often the beginning. Behind every no is a reason, a fear, a limit, or a misalignment waiting to be understood and reframed. Castle encourages negotiators to treat rejection not as a wall, but as a window, a chance to look deeper. When you hear no, your first instinct might be to defend or retreat, but Castle urges you to pause, breathe, and instead ask a powerful question. What would need to change for this to become a yes? This opens a dialogue, inviting the other person to express concerns without judgment and shifting the conversation from confrontation to collaboration. He also introduces rejection reframing, which involves viewing no as progress. If a client says, "No, this price is too high," you explore, is it the overall price or the structure that concerns you? Or what kind of value would justify this investment in your eyes? This brings hidden objections to the surface. Rejection also strengthens your negotiation muscle, building resilience and emotional control. Castle even encourages seeking out rejection during practice to become more fearless. He warns against confusing rejection with disrespect. No is just a response, a signal to decode, not a reflection of your worth or an attack on your character. Ultimately, persistence is key, as no today can become yes tomorrow if you stay in the game.
That's incredibly liberating. Transforming no from a dreaded endpoint to a starting point. It sounds like the ultimate goal is not just winning, but building something more lasting. What does Castle say about creating truly successful long-term agreements?
This is the culmination of Castle's philosophy, Emma. He emphasizes that the hallmark of truly successful negotiation is the ability to create win-win agreements, deals that satisfy the interests of all parties involved and establish a foundation for long-term relationships. He argues that sustainable success comes from mutual benefit and trust, which only emerge when both sides feel like winners. He strongly warns against zero-sum thinking, where one party's gain is the other's loss, as this leads to adversarial negotiations and fragile relationships. Instead, win-win negotiation focuses on expanding the pie before dividing it, exploring creative solutions that meet underlying needs. Key strategies for win-win agreements: identify interests, not positions. People's stated positions, what they say they want, often hide their deeper interests, the reasons behind those wants. By digging beneath surface demands, you find shared or complementary goals. Transparency and honesty. While strategic discretion is important, sharing relevant information builds trust and reduces suspicion. This transforms negotiation from a contest into a joint effort to create value. Flexibility in terms. Think beyond just price. Incorporate elements like payment plans, performance incentives, or collaboration clauses to address concerns on both sides. Log rolling. Trade concessions on issues of unequal importance. If one party prioritizes speed and the other values payment terms, you can concede on the less important point to gain on your critical one. Fairness. People are motivated by a sense of justice. Discuss fairness criteria like market rates or objective benchmarks to reduce conflict. Crucially, Castle ties all of this back to ethics and integrity. He states that trust is the currency of negotiation. Ethical behavior not only preserves your reputation, but actually strengthens your negotiating power. Building trust through honesty, fairness, and respect is essential for ongoing success and mutually beneficial agreements. When you negotiate ethically, you become a trusted advisor, not just a salesperson, leading to stronger, longer-lasting deals.
That's such a profound and practical framework, Ethan. It really transforms the idea of negotiation from a battle into a collaborative effort to create value. So, as we wrap up, what's Tim Castle's final message to aspiring negotiators?
His final message is one of empowerment and continuous growth, Emma. He reiterates that negotiation mastery is both an art and a skill, developed over time through practice, reflection, and continual learning. He encourages embracing negotiation as a positive, collaborative process, not just a contest. The book's value lies in its holistic approach, integrating mindset, preparation, clear communication, emotional intelligence, ethical behavior, creative problem-solving, and building rapport. Castle stresses the importance of self-awareness, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, managing emotions, and understanding your negotiation style. He encourages cultivating patience, persistence, and resilience, recognizing that setbacks are part of growth. He really inspires readers to see negotiation not just as a transactional tool, but as a life skill that enhances personal growth, leadership, and influence. By committing to growth, preparation, ethics, and connection, you can navigate even the toughest negotiations with confidence and grace. It's about learning to own your worth, speak your truth, and never settle again.
What an incredibly insightful review, Ethan. The Art of Negotiation by Tim Castle sounds like it offers so much more than just negotiation tactics. It's a guide to personal empowerment and effective communication in every aspect of life. Thank you for breaking it down for us so clearly.
My pleasure, Emma. It's truly a book that can rewire how you think, speak, and win.
And that's all for this episode of Readology Review. If you enjoyed this discussion, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this episode with anyone who wants to unlock their negotiation superpower. We'll be back soon with another great book. Until then, happy reading and confident negotiating.